Ntwari z'u Rwanda, intwari z'u Rwanda.
A hero?
The discussions brought together Rwandan nationals and friends of Rwanda living in Senegal, Mali, Gambia, Cape Verde, and Guinea-Bissau. It was noted that those in the diaspora there, just like Rwandans living here in the country, wanted to mark Heroes Day and celebrate the achievements of those who sacrificed so much for Rwanda.
Umunsi w'intwari ni umunsi udasanzwe mu buzima bw'igihugu cyacu.
Heroes Day is an important occasion to our country, and it is our obligation to celebrate our heroes, and so we must always remember their sacrifices so that we may live as we do today. Rwanda is secure and united, developing every day in a country that has found its value, respected internationally, as we see from day to day in these countries we live in.
Nk'uko tubibona umunsi ku wundi muri ibi bihugu tubamo.
The young people participating in the discussions were urged to play their part in helping to develop the country, with examples of how centuries ago, even without a standing army, what used to be the Kingdom of Rwanda was still able to expand its borders thanks to the sacrifices of heroic individuals. We should be able to meet our own food production needs, have a striving textile industry, and even during pandemics like this of COVID, we should have the capacity to make our own vaccines and medicine. That is a big task facing today's youth, and we must also protect our country so that it is vulnerable to no one. That is a task that is ongoing, very important work, and I honestly cannot understand why anyone would sleep on this, with the magnitude of the work we have on our hands. The youth engaged in the discussions vowed not to let the opportunities they have slip by.
Hari urubyiruko koko rufite uwo muco w'ubutwari.
As a young person, you may deceive yourself that the time for heroism has passed and that you can just sit back, but nothing could be further from the truth. Some young people have proved very patriotic, working hard not just for themselves but for the country because they are proud to be Rwandan. There is still much we must do for our country, and it should make us think about how we are going to leave our mark, emulating those who came before us. What can we do for such heroism to be known across all of Africa and to become an example for future generations? I believe I can write a book about what was done, and I got that idea thanks to these discussions. Those who were part of Rwanda's army during the bad leadership that plunged the country into its darkest time in history, now referred to as ex-FAR, people like Innocent Rwabigabo, who has been living in Senegal, visited Rwanda back in 2011, also gave his input in the discussions and had this to say. Over the many years I spent as a refugee, having fled part of the ex-FAR, our dignity suffered because foreigners mistreated us and we had no true leadership of our own. We had no one to listen to our problems. In 2011, I visited Rwanda as part of the Come and See initiative, coming from Senegal. I visited my friends and family and many parts of the country, feeling completely secure and at peace. I saw for myself how peaceful my country had become and was even given a national ID and Rwandan passport. I felt that the dignity that I had lost as a Rwandan had been given back to me. I can now travel to any other country I want as a Rwandan national, and the advice I give you is to first love your country, using your intellect to make the proper decisions. Listen to the counsel of your heart, because we all know the difference between good and bad. Rwandan government officials participating in the discussions also reminded young people that the legacy left by the heroes of the past is not something to take lightly. Accepting that legacy of heroism means refusing to vanish without leaving your mark. If the heroes of the past, the RPF in Hotini, gave you this country, then you too must make your mark and show what you can contribute. Without a doubt, a lot has been done over the last 27 years, but one cannot help but notice what is yet to be achieved. The time has come to ask yourself, wherever you may be, in Senegal, Rwanda, or elsewhere, what can I do to continue playing my part in nation building? That is the attitude we should all adopt and the exercise we should engage in. Veteran politicians who were part of the struggle to liberate Rwanda, like Tito Rutaremara, have also urged young people to engage in the country's developmental efforts. Young people should get up and work. Let the student do well in their studies. The carpenter strive to become the best there is, and the ICT expert become an innovator, looking to the technological achievements of countries like the US for inspiration. That is heroism, and it applies to young Rwandans in Rwanda and beyond. It is true that we now have our own country, but we must use the opportunities science and technology have presented to speed up our own development pace and catch up with everybody else, and then our value will truly be realized.
Science na technology kugira ngo twihute dufate bari agaciro kaba agaciro koko.
The occasion to mark Heroes Day in 5 countries, which Rwanda's embassy in Senegal overseas diplomatic ties, was held virtually.